Welcome to PintheQ Productions. If you are interested in the culture of the fire service and keeping tradition alive, you have come to the right place. Now sit back and relax with your brothers and sisters and enjoy the show.
Recruit Fred Brewer. I'm from Washington Township, New Jersey. I have a bachelor's degree from Rowan University in law justice, and I'm going to be working on my master's in emergency management.
Hey everyone, welcome back to PintheQ Productions, PintheQ Podcast, and we are here with someone that I've been following on Instagram. I know you've been checking this guy out too because we showed his mug on the preview, and directly over my right shoulder is his trailer, Fireman Freddie's Barbecue, and I got to tell you, we have a very heavy and full belly right now because we had a taste test from this trailer, and man, let me tell you, awesome. Not only the ribs were amazing, but the sauces, bro. Let's talk about the sauces for a minute.
All homemade, all fresh. Everything's made fresh.
Bro, ridiculous. So good. We're going to actually show you a picture of those in a minute, but really good stuff. And especially with the trailer, and I know you had some humble beginnings, so I'd like to talk about that. But before we go any further, it wouldn't be a show unless we introduce you. So why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Okay. I am Fred Brewer, the owner, operator, and pitmaster here at Fireman Freddie's Barbecue in Washington Township, New Jersey. And I also am a career firefighter with the Prince George's County Fire Department.
PG.
Yes, sir.
Nice and busy,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. So, bro, tell me a bit how this all kind of started for you, because I know it didn't start with this.
Nah, it didn't. It definitely did not start with this. So, about 2010, I started messing around smoking, messing around with some sauces, just kind of playing around at the house. I'd worked in restaurants all through high school and through college, so I kind of had a thing for the restaurant business. From there, I was just messing around until about 2014. I was doing my kids' birthday parties, and people were enjoying my food, so they would ask me to do like a pork butt or some ribs or something for their kid's birthday party. Of course, me just playing around, like, sure, why not?
Right, you're just doing it for fun anyway.
I'm gonna sit outside. I'm gonna drink some beer. I'm gonna mess around and cook some food. And they'd give me $20, $50 or whatever just to do it. And I'd be happy.
Right.
And I kind of always had the dream of having my own restaurant, food truck, something. I wasn't really sure, but I remember mentioning to people that, hey, one day I'm going to have a food truck. Like, guys at the firehouse always love my cooking. So I was like, I'm going to do a food truck one day.
Yeah, you're the guy everyone wants to be with on a tour because, like, you can cook. Me, I'll clean dishes all day, bro. No big deal. I'll take care of the whole kitchen. But guys like you were, man, in Paramount.
I'm a little weird, though. I'm somewhat picky with my food as well. So I kind of like cooking because then I'm the one cooking something I like as well. So 2014, I was still. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Still new, in the fire service in Prince George's County, so I didn't really want to get into anything big at the time.
Right.
So I did that for a couple of years, just messing around. Then, like 2017 came around, and my friends own a farm here in Washington Township. It's called Duffields Farm. They have a nice setup over there, and they had a food truck festival, and they were like, hey, why don't you come out and serve some of your food? And I said, yeah, why not? Let's try it out.
Yeah.
So that day I loaded up my smokers the one I built from my kid's wagon.
That's awesome.
I just two little Walmart smokers that I've been messing around with, and I combined them on a wagon, and we built like a nice little. It looked nice. It looked like a nice little pull behind wagon smoker, and we ended up using that and filling that thing up, and I did 300 sandwiches in 3 hours. And I said,
wow.
maybe I got something going on
Yeah,
here.
maybe you're on to something here.
Yeah, so that summer I started looking, to go bigger, maybe get a pull behind smoker, for my truck or something like that. And I found a guy down in Georgia, and I ordered the smoker from him. And first 2 weeks went by, everything seemed good. Then next thing you know, he stopped talking to me, and he
It's a scare about the internet, bro. You don't know who you're dealing with.
yeah, he borrowed my money for a couple months until my bank finally got it back, and so I was a little discouraged at the time. So the
Right.
fall came around, and I said, I'm going to try this again. And I found a guy locally here in town because I saw his smoker on the side of the road that he was trying to sell. And I said, hey, I don't want that one, but can you build me something? And, we agreed to terms and all this stuff. And next thing you know, he took my money too.
Oh my God! At this point, you got to think to yourself, is this really what I want to do?
Yeah.
I mean,
I had
get stiff twice, bro.
I got stiffed twice. I had nothing in the business at all except for that one food truck festival. And,
Right.
there was I had no stock in it, I would say, So from there, I was just kind of nervous, and the springtime came, and I did that food truck festival again with the same trailer, and I was like, man, this is awesome. I'm good at this. People love my food. People keep asking me where to get it. So I decided to talk to one of my buddies. It was one of my daughter's friends who she went to preschool with her dad, and we ended up talking one time. And he was like, "Yeah, I can weld." I was like, "Yeah, I need someone who can weld." And he's like, "Well, let's just build it." He's like, "You got plans?" I said, "I mean, I can sketch on it. Yeah, I can sketch on a piece of paper."
Yeah.
And he's like, "That works for me." I said, "Okay." So I went out to the local trailer store and just bought a lawn trailer.
Right.
And we have a big steel place here in town, and we ended up going there, and we built the whole thing. The first actual 16-foot tow behind that I had, we built from the ground up.
And that's awesome, bro. Because like I said, that's your blood and sweat are into that.
Yeah,
It makes it more personal.
it was an experience. I spent a lot of time. My wife was definitely not happy with me as much time as I was spending on that. And
Right,
we weren't making any money off it because, we were building it from the ground up. But my whole motto has been since the beginning that I don't want to use any of my family money.
Right.
Any money that I made from the business was going back into the business to make the business cooler. And all it's been is something, I just keep getting bigger toys is pretty much what it is.
Yeah, kind of like this one.
Yeah, I mean, this one's pretty serious.
Yeah.
So that was right around 2017, 2018 area. It was spring 2018. So we went through 2018, all of 2019 season using this trailer. It was awesome. It cooked great. Everything was awesome about it, except for it was open from 4 feet up all the way around. So it got cold in the wintertime, so I couldn't work in the wintertime. So last year, right around 2019, the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, I was contemplating doing brick and mortar because,
nice.
maybe that's the next step.
Right.
I priced some places out, and it was just not where I wanted to be. It was just out of my budget. You had to rent, this and that. Just out of my budget. So I was going on the internet, and I follow a lot of barbecue stuff on my Instagram, and I found this place called SDG Trailers down in Waycross, Georgia.
Back to Georgia.
Back to Georgia.
Oh man.
So now I'm very skeptical on
As you should
anybody.
be. As you should be. Yeah. You
And,
got burned twice.
So I called them up and I said, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for." They're like, "Yeah, we can do that." And I said, "Okay, before we do anything, I want to come down and see your facility." So my wife and I jumped a flight out of Philadelphia. We went from Philadelphia to Nashville to Jacksonville, then drove to Waycross, and then did the whole thing in reverse. And we did it all in like 22 hours.
That's
So
commitment.
we did it all in one day. We had fun as a couple, and it was like a little road trip. But
Right.
who says they went to I forget the number of miles, but I think it was something silly like 3,000 miles in one day.
Oh
And
my gosh.
we had to drive 4 of them. It was crazy, but their facility is beautiful. It's 100,000 square foot gigantic building where they build everything from scratch.
Awesome.
And these guys, I mean, you called them, you told them what you wanted, and they build you. I mean, this thing, if you can see it behind me, I mean, there's probably going to be some pictures.
Oh yeah,
on
they're
it.
gonna see it. Oh yeah.
It's beautiful. It has everything you can imagine. So, 2020 came. I drove it home the first week. New Jersey shut down for COVID, so I had a little bit of a,
Little snafu there, huh?
yeah, and I was a little nervous, but that's where I've been. So.
Yeah.
now we're just trucking along, I'd say.
What people don't realize though is they see the truck, obviously they see preparing food, but talk about what goes into this because it's daunting. It's not just you come on here and you make some things. Like, kind of talk about what you have to do.
Yeah, so everything on my trailer is made by me, besides my cupcakes. My cupcakes I can't make as good as my girl Erica. She makes the best cupcakes I've ever had in my entire life. So I brought her along to do the cupcakes and dessert for me this year. So for me, though, I do everything from scratch, from the pickles that I make myself to the mac and cheese where I shred all the cheese myself, make the roux. We don't use anything from a box, nothing from a can.
That's awesome.
All the meats I hand pick, season with my own rubs that I make, and then, as you were alluding to earlier, I have 6 sauces that I make from scratch. Everything from my original OG barbecue, which is like a normal barbecue sauce, to root beer barbecue sauce. That's your favorite?
Oh,
Sweet.
man. Yeah.
The
horseradish.
Horseradish
Oh,
is
man.
good. And then I have 2.
And the root beer.
Yeah, root beer. And then 2 Carolinas.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have one I call Double Kick in the Nuts, which I made back in college. It's like a buffalo garlic.
I'll vouch for that, by the
Yeah.
way. Because there's some over by that table. They're still over there.
Yeah.
It's
that,
good.
That one hurts on the second time around.
Well, I'm sure. I'm preparing myself.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's so awesome that you do this, and you were telling me a crazy story that sometimes you're on this thing all night just preparing for.
Yeah, so normally I have to give another shout out to my guys over at Bonesaw Brewery. It's a local brewery here in Glassboro, right at Rowan University, and I also credit them to a huge bit of my success. I'll tell you a little story. On my fifth wedding anniversary, my wife took me to a steakhouse. She knows I like steak. So in turn, I said, no, it'll be cool. I didn't tell her, but I invited our bridesmaids and our grooms to meet us at this new brewery in Glassboro for after our dinner. So it was kind of like,
yeah, nice.
Everybody meets back up.
Yeah.
5 years later. So we go there and we're talking, and everybody's having a good time. And I'm watching this guy, and I've become real good friends with him. His name's Alan. He's one of the brothers that works there, and he's family owns it. And I said, that guy, he's got more stock in this place than just a guy clearing the tables. So I said, I'm going to go ask him if I can set my food truck up here. At the time, I didn't have a food truck. I had a trailer with a smoker zip tied down to it pretty much, and I had nothing. I took a shot, and I went up to him and I explained myself, and I said what I do, and I said, this is what I got, and I was kind of confident, I would say. And he said, I need you next Thursday. I said,
you like next Thursday?
like in 6 days? He's like, yeah. I said, I'll be here. So long story short, I came that night, and it has been
now you went back to the table now, and you told your wife.
Yeah, my
wife. By the way.
Yeah, my wife goes, you did what? I was like, yeah. And she's like, no. I said, yeah. She's like, what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know.
And we'll figure it out later.
Yeah. So anyway, we did that one time, and I sold out, and they saw my success, I think, and they appreciated me being just a down-to-earth guy that wasn't there to make a killing.
Right.
I wasn't there to make money. I was there to serve good food,
and you're doing something you love.
Yeah, and honestly, that's where I'm at in life. I'm not here to make $1 million. I'm here to serve people good food and put a good atmosphere out there, just to make people happy. I mean, I feel like my food brings happiness to people. Could be having a bad day and a barbecue sandwich.
I tell you right now, it definitely brought us happiness today because, clearly we weren't expecting anything. I mean, I just was excited to showcase this awesome business you have and talk about your career as a firefighter, and then you come out with these dishes. Are like, oh man, this is ridiculous. It was so good, bro. And one of the things that struck me about you was, when we spoke on the phone, you had said to me that you feel like you have everything you want out of your life. You're very happy, and you're doing 2 things you love. You said you love the fire service and you love doing this, and you're right. I mean, if you have that knocked, you're doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that I have the 2 best jobs in the world. This job has allowed me, with my part-time business, to let my wife go part-time as a nurse. She's a nurse. She wanted to be with the family a little more. She didn't want to work nights and weekends anymore. And this business has helped us do that, where now, you know, as a family, my wife can spend time with the kids, and my wife's excellent with the kids. She's a saint. I don't know how she does it, and she deals with me, which is
So
I don't know how she does that, because I'm very particular with things. I'm very OCD with things, and she accepts me.
All right. Well, it's obvious that she sees a lot in you as well, because she sees where you're coming from, and it's so cool to hear that you came from like pulling a wagon, your kid's wagon. That's amazing, bro, to see what you have now. And our guests will get an opportunity to actually see this trailer and what's involved in this. I mean, this thing's legit. This is no little trailer.
It's a full commercial kitchen on wheels.
Yeah, it is, and the ovens in there, it's awesome.
Yeah, the
they're awesome.
smoker in the back is built by a guy in Georgia as well. That's right hooked to the same thing as the trailer company. It's Beck built smokers down there, and he makes an awesome smoker. The thing cooks great. We can put plenty of food on there.
And it's cool. It's cool too, like how some of this all came about. Like your employee that I have now, he's been with you this entire time. And tell us how that all started.
Yeah. So Jeff, guy that's where I used to do. Hey, my friends, who wants to just come and hang out with me and serve some barbecue?
Right.
And I had friends that'd be like, yeah, sure, that's cool, but then this is fun, but I never really had someone that could help out. And like, they were good, but they weren't. I guess they didn't have like the passion, I guess, that I had.
They didn't have the investment that you, right?
Yeah. So I mean, which is fine. I guess it was 2 years ago now. My wife and I were at a church group, and we were just kind of hanging out, and a couple of guys were standing by. We were talking about the trailer, talking about barbecue, and I think I did dinner that night for everybody in our little group or whatever. And I said, hey, anybody want to work this weekend? I need someone to come out and work for me. This guy Jeff comes up, goes, hey man, I'll do it. I was like, awesome. All right, so
yeah, you got someone. That's awesome.
Yeah, so all right, cool. He's a body. He breathes. Can you do math? 1 + 1 is 2. Good. Sometimes I have to catch him after he's had a couple. I gotta make sure Jeff's counting right. But so anyway, Jeff came on, and that day I said, hey, I got these other dates. Can you do any of them? He said, I can do every single one of them. And
which means he obviously liked it. He enjoyed it.
Yeah. And honestly, Jeff has come a long way, where now I can trust Jeff with my trailer. I still show up to everything. 2 weeks from now is my best friend's wedding, and my best friend wanted my food there. But my wife's like, well, it's his wedding. Like, you can't be there. Like, you can't cook. I'm like, you're right. So Jeff is going to take the reins.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm going to do the cooking and then get a quick shower, and he's going to do all the serving for me. But
that's awesome.
I mean, he's a great guy, and he just makes it the business. He has the same mentality as me, I guess you would say.
Bro, like you, this is your passion. Obviously, this is my passion. I love the fire service, and this is a great way for me to stay in tune with the fire service and to be able to talk to guys like you, bro. It's awesome. So it's fun for me too to have my brothers that come with me. Also, like Johnny's here today. I mean, these guys they're solid, and to have these guys with you, your friends with you doing this stuff, it makes it 10 times better.
Yeah, and that I agree 100% on. And I use the guys down at the firehouse. They're like my little test dummies. They try out my cupcakes, and I bring them extras if I have extras. And one of the guys I work with down in PG also lives here in New Jersey. He comes to every one of my events.
That's awesome.
He comes out and he eats. He brings his family. I mean, I've had guys travel up from Maryland just to try it out, and everyone's been pretty impressed with it. So
yeah, it's awesome.
Pretty happy.
It's cool that the couple of people I've talked to all have nothing but great things to say. And what's cool about the fire service is to you they'll bust your balls a little bit, but when they're talking to someone else about you, that's truly when you know what they feel and how they feel about you. And it's good stuff, bro. I'll tell you that. Let's switch gears for a minute and kind of walk me into how you became part of the fire service to begin with. How'd that all start for you?
It started when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So my dad has been was a volunteer firefighter for I think he did 45 or 48 years in the volunteer fire service. He started as a junior member had a really cool firehouse up in Audubon, New Jersey. It's called Defender. They shut them down in the late 90s, but it was kind of like the bad boys firehouse of the neighborhood. The Philadelphia Flyers always hung out there at their bar. It was,
Oh, that's awesome.
the stories that came out of that firehouse from my dad were awesome. And then he moved down to Washington Township, where I grew up, and he was he held every rank in the firehouse. I think besides chief, he moved up to assistant chief, I think, at one point, and he was a commissioner for a while. And he had a strong passion for the fire service. He really did, and he always brought me along.
Awesome.
To the fire, like you see Backdraft, and you see that picture of, the kid riding in the front bench seat, and that was me as a little kid. Dad would bring me to the firehouse, and we get a run. I still remember my dad's ID number was 44, and every time you went on a call, you would put your number on the whiteboard, and every time that I would ride with him, it would be 44 and a half.
That's awesome.
I still remember my dad doing that. And,
That's cool.
It was cool that once I was of age, I joined too, and I remember him telling me I'd lived with my mom at the time, and it was a different firehouse than where he volunteered at, and it was same town but different firehouse. And he said, make a name for yourself.
Right.
And luckily at the time he was a little bit older, and just kind of like an not associate member, but he rode, but he didn't come out at like nighttime and stuff like that. He actually came and joined the firehouse where I was at, so he could ride. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Some of the cool memories I had is, my first couple of years, my dad driving the first time I was a PAC qualified firefighter. Right. He was the driver, I was sitting in the back. And then through the years as a volunteer, I moved up in ranks, moved up to captain, and my dad was still a driver, so it'd be cool. Like,
yeah, it's awesome.
My dad was driving, I was sitting in the seat. It was really cool. And then 2010, I got my dream job and got hired in Prince George's County, and I've been there since.
Bro, I'm going to bring you back a minute. You talk about those experiences with your dad, and I'm very fortunate, man. I've sat across from people in the same seat as you that are giving me the same type of memories, and I was asked, what was it like? Do you remember that first job where you said you're PAC qualified and dad was on the rigway? I mean, walk me through that. What was it like for you?
Well, my first real fire, my dad was not on with me. I still remember it was a drill night. It was the hunt club. I was 2 weeks out of the fire academy, and I was the backup man. I still remember, and it was probably still one of the hottest fires I've ever gone to. And It was just a nice condo fire, just whole second floor off. It was a great fire. But going with my dad, seeing him around the firehouse, and seeing the respect that he earned from even through this whole county where we live in now, things he did as a commissioner to help little firehouses out that weren't as fortunate as the firehouses that we have here, and just the respect level that he has from other firefighters around. We could go into any firehouse and you'd mention my dad's name, and they know who he is. And
man, you can't put a price tag on that.
No, and he's been involved in a lot. He was I don't know if you know Camden City at all, but he was his ladder truck was like the second due ladder truck to Camden City in like the 70s when it was like Fire Factory down there. And he tells those stories, and he was directly involved with a line of duty death with a guy. My dad was burnt, somebody else was burnt, and they drugged the guy back out of it. It was a brush fire.
Wow.
They turned on him on the railroad tracks, and he was involved in that. So he's been involved in the fire service, and he instilled all that into me, and my love for the service. I mean,
what would you say one thing that you emulate your dad about on the fire service, if you had to pick one thing?
I think it's just my passion. I would say.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he had a passion, and I never thought I'd like it as much, but he was they called him the driver trainer, and he was really good with pumps. And I feel like that's, I've come into enjoying the math of the pumps and learning about pumps and learning about driving, and that.
Yeah, because it's not just tank to pump.
No, there's a lot more to it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one thing that he instilled on me, is to always do your job correctly and do it to the best of your ability. And you have to do the job correctly. Is basically how it comes down to.
Now, was your dad able to make your graduation,
Yep.
PJ?
Yeah, he
What was that like for you?
It was cool. My dad's one of those people that's good job, kid.
Yeah,
you did it.
Old
But
school.
I was fortunate enough. I guess about 2 or 3 years ago, we have a ride along. At PG, you're allowed to ride along. You
Awesome.
sign a form or whatever. And I said, hey, he when I first got hired, he knew every shift I worked. So he would call me and ask me about the night before, like, hey, what'd you guys do? Did you guys go to any fires? You do this? No, Dad, I was riding the ambulance like normal. Like, it's my first year. I rode the ambulance. I rode the ambulance. I went to 1 million ambulance calls. No, I didn't do anything. I'm still pissed off about it. Like, come on. But once I gained a couple of years, I brought him down, and I drove and he rode in the back of the fire truck.
Nice.
And it was just a cool experience to
Absolutely,
have
man,
him
yeah.
like
No
now
doubt.
he's riding with me at work, and that
Right.
was really cool. So
Yeah, it's good to have those experiences, man. And I'm sure he's super proud, bro. I mean,
yeah, I think so.
even if he doesn't say it, believe me, he is.
Well,
The ride along proves it.
It's funny. He comes and he'll come sit on the trailer, and he'll go, he'll give me the burnt pieces. Give me the burnt pieces. So it's not burnt pieces. It's just like he likes the bark. But so one day he's sitting in the back, and someone goes, "Hey, is that the owner?" I said, "No, that's just my dad mooching off me. He's just sitting back there mooching. He's just sitting there eating." He's just sitting
I'm
back-
the owner.
Yeah, no, I'm the owner. Can I help you with something? No, I just thought that was the owner. No, that's just my old man sitting back there eating.
That's awesome.
So,
So walk me to PGA, man. How did it all start for you? Tell me that journey.
I was. So the journey started here in Washington Township.
Okay.
So when I was in college, I was a law justice major, and about halfway through, I knew that wasn't for me. I wasn't going to be a cop. I didn't want to be a cop. I wanted to be a fireman because I joined the fire service late in college. I joined a little late, but I joined in college, and I said, "This is what I want to do. Like I'm doing this." And
So you joined the fire company in college.
yeah, so I always rode, and then with my dad and stuff, and then I was playing hockey in high school, and I just didn't have the time, and like I found a time that I said, you know what, I really want to do this, so I'm going to do it. I think I was 20 years old, 19
I think it's
years
so
old.
cool that your dad didn't pressure you when as soon as you were able to go, he wasn't like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, no,
it's
he,
cool.
he didn't.
He gave you your own path.
Yeah, he left me with that choice.
That's cool.
And so when I was in my senior year of college, I had to do an internship, and most people were going to work at the prosecutor's office or ride along with a police officer or something like that. And I went to my professor, I remember, and saying, "Hey, I don't want to be a police officer. I'm not going to use this major. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I want to be a fireman. Can I do my ride time with a career fire department?" And he said, "Sure." So the career guys here in Washington Township, I had known them all. And I said, "Hey, I asked, it was Captain Jim Lee at the time. I said, 'Hey, can I ride with your crew? I have to do 400 hours. Like, I'm going to come on every day you guys work, and I'll just
400 hours. Wow.
yeah, I'll just be your." I believe they had 5 on the crew at the time. Like, I'll either be your 6th, do what you want with me.
Right.
And they did, and they were while we were there, there was a guy named Joe. He's a captain now here in Washington Township, and he said, "You need to get out of here. You need to go south." So they would pressure me a lot. Like, "You're not going to go anywhere here. Like, there's no spots. You're not going to get hired here."
It's tough in Jersey, man. I tell these young kids the same thing.
Yeah.
If you had nothing tying you down, go get.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was. He's like,
Yeah.
"You have nothing. Like, when
Yeah.
college is over, go." And I started applying, and I applied to every place in Maryland, pretty much. Anne Arundel County, Baltimore County, Baltimore City, Howard, Montgomery, all of them. I applied, and PG. I think I applied to PG maybe twice, and I got hired finally in 2011 or 2011.
Well, tell me what it was like when they punch your ticket, bro. They call you like, "Yo, you're going to the academy."
I remember I was laying in bed, and I got my phone went off, and I picked it up, and I was supposed to be going with my girlfriend now, which is my now wife, to the shore for the day. And I remember getting a phone call and said, "Hey, if you want it, the job's yours." I said, "Okay." She's like, "I'm going to mail you the stuff, or you can come sign it right now." And I was like, "Hey, you want to go to DC today?" And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "I just got hired. Do you want to go?" She's like, "Let's go." So we jumped in
awesome.
the car, went down, signed the papers, and luckily enough, the Phillies were playing the Nationals that day. So we caught a ball game at National Stadium.
Just kind of shifted gears. That's all. Instead
Yeah.
of the shore,
Yeah, we went to the greatest place in the world, PG County.
That's awesome.
I didn't know any what I was getting into at that point. I was like, oh, this place looks kind of nice. Yeah.
So
no.
when you were doing your internship here in Washington Township, did it kind of give you a taste of that career atmosphere?
It did. It really did. I saw what they did every day. You know, I learned a lot from them. There was they have a lot of those guys that were on that crew were, you know, they had a vast amount of knowledge, and they could, I think they could see it in me that I wanted it.
Right. So they invested in
and
you.
they kind of invested in me by
Right.
teaching me and showing me, and you know,
Yeah.
just being good friends. And I'm still good friends with them all today.
It's awesome because they invest that time into you, and it paid off because when you're in PG, when you got hired there, you kind of already had a taste of that career mentality or atmosphere. So I'm sure it helped you.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Tell me what it was like to go to the academy in PG.
I mean, it was just like another academy. It was.
Right.
I mean, it was.
Because you already went through.
I went through
like,
one up
Firefighter
here.
1 here.
Yeah,
right?
Firefighter 1 here. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. We ran. We got yelled at. You know, it was like a normal what I expected for a fire academy.
Right.
Gained a lot of good friends. You know, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's good. You graduate, and then what happens? You go.
Yeah,
Would you go
graduated.
as a
and we got-
sixth?
What's that?
Were you like a sixth or a fifth on a crew when you graduate?
No. I went to. We don't. It's not New Jersey. We run 3-man engine companies.
Oh, nice. So it's like trial by fire.
Yeah. So as a rookie at this point, you can get put on an engine company and like walk in your first morning and ride the wagon, and
Wow.
next thing you know, you're on a box alarm. And it's like, well, I don't even know who my officer is, let alone like. But no,
That's pretty awesome.
I got assigned. I probably got the best firehouse and worst firehouse to get assigned to as a rookie. So I got assigned to Company 26 in Prince George's County, which is a very busy company. At the time, it was a tiller truck with 3 guys. So if you
Nice.
couldn't tiller, you rode the ambulance. So for the first month or first year of my career, I basically rode the ambulance unless that ladder truck was out of service. So I mean, that's PG County though. I mean, if everyone sees PG County as like this fire factory, I mean, we see a fair share of fires, but you see a lot more ambulance calls.
Yeah, and that happens quite often. You know, it's just part of the gig. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
you either embrace it or you embrace the suck.
Yeah. It's not as bad as you think.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the culture of PG for you.
As in what way? Just as a fire service or?
Your house, like talk to me a little bit about the culture in your house there.
So right now, I'm at Company 5 in Prince George's County. It's in Capitol Heights. I have an awesome crew. I would call them a bunch of skells. It's a word that's used around the firehouse a lot. A bunch of good guys. I mean, we have we kind of built this crew a couple years ago. There was 3 spots there, 3 firefighter spots available, and 3 of us bid into that spot. There was one other firefighter that was already there, and our officer. And we honestly we built this crew, like I said, 2 years ago, and we have a ball. We go to work. We all enjoy ourselves. We enjoy each other. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. You know, you say you enjoy each other, and often we get a lot of questions from viewers who are not firefighters, which always shocked me. But we do have quite a few people who aren't firefighters, and they ask a lot of questions about the culture. You know, they want to know more about the culture in the fire service and how each house is different, and each house has personalities and that type of thing. But you know, coming from Jersey to Maryland, you know, it is sort of a different culture.
Yeah.
So you get to Maryland, and you get set up with guys you don't know.
Yep.
You don't know these guys. You weren't from there. You didn't go to school there. So to get thrown into that, you know, you're learning all kinds of things, like where you're at, the type of people you're with, and trying to build relationships. Talk to me about the fire service and how we have this way of meeting firefighters for the first time and instantly connecting.
Yeah. So I bring it back to the fact that going there, I was completely shocked. Here, it was, you get out of the fire engine. There's normally 4, 5, 6 of us on the fire engine, and it's like, this guy does this
Right.
guy does that. It's kind of at a slower pace. I got to PG County, and there's people running all over the place. And, I mean, everyone's seen the videos, and it's just how you're taught though in the academy. It's
Right.
They call it moving with a purpose. You move with a purpose. I mean, just imagine that that's your family's home. You don't want to
Absolutely,
see the
yeah.
person walking. So there's a lot of moving with a purpose, which turns into running most of the time. And like,
And this is exactly what I'm talking about, brother. You know, that's a different culture.
yeah,
right?
it was completely different to me,
Right.
and I'm like, what have I got myself into? Like, this is not what I know. I thought I knew the fire service. I
Right.
thought I knew something. I compared myself to just the lowest of low at that point. I was like, I'm dumb. Like, what is going on right now? But I've, over the last 10 years, I've really, realized it and learned the process, and I enjoy being down there at work.
Now, with 10 years on, bro, I mean, I'd imagine you're one of these guys now when the new guys are coming in. You know, these new boots are coming in, and guys and girls, and you're like saying, that was me.
Yeah.
I remember that. You know, do you find
and-
yourself more mentoring at this time?
Yeah. Young and dumb is what I mean, I got there. I had no kids. I had no wife. It was just, I was young. I was dumb. I liked to ride. I want to ride on the fire truck. I want to ride on the fire truck. Get me on the fire truck. Get me on the fire truck. But, you quickly realize that there's someone who's been there longer than you, and they're going to ride the fire engine, and, you have to do your time on the ambulance. You have to do your time as a detail. You have to do your time doing whatever, doing the shit work. But I also think that, you have to show the younger people that, the fire service is also about, me respecting you, you respecting me. So I have to show that, I'm still going to clean toilets. I'm still going to, I'm still going to cook. I'm still going to clean. I'm not going to, leave my dishes in the sink and wait for, hey, rookie, go do that. That's not his job.
Dude, so some of the best bosses are ones in the trenches, bro. You know what I mean? With a toilet brush. You know what I mean? Those are true leaders. They lead from the front, man. And those guys I respect, those guys and girls I respect the most.
Yep.
If you were asked right now, hey man, who was your mentor in PG? Like who was the one person, or there might be two or three people, but who was that one person that kind of like grabbed you by the shoulder and, all right, bro, follow me. I'm gonna help you out, get you started.
I think it was the guys at 26. So my first crew was rough. They were the ones who showed me that I'm the rookie. They made it known that I'm the lowest man on the totem pole. But I still also remember the first fire that I was with them, and it was a fatal, and I thought I did a pretty good job, and one of the senior men on the crew came over and, yeah, good job, Fred. Like that at that point,
huge.
yeah, was kind of cool, and I feel like they had a little respect for me, but they still knew that I was the low man on the totem pole. But the way that they did things there was definitely how I kind of go with the guys that I have coming up under me. Is you start at the low bottom, and
you prove yourself.
You have to prove yourself, and you have to work yourself up. And until you prove yourself, you're really low.
Right.
So,
and that right there, it says it all. I mean, just that one guy coming in, the senior man coming in and saying good job.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what you need, and that builds a lot of confidence within yourself.
yeah, definitely.
And it's good that you said that and acknowledge that, because a lot of people forget those little things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're huge things in the end.
Yeah, definitely.
So we talk a lot about firefighters, having something else. You got to have something else, right? Hobby. You say you play ice hockey. You have this. This is a huge distressor from the job. It takes you away from the bad shit you see and the rough shifts and all that other stuff. And this is good, right? Would you say that this is something that kind of takes you away from all that?
It does. And it's one of those things that I thought was just going to be a hobby, and I thought I liked just to do as fun.
Right.
That I've turned into a business, and it's gotten a lot bigger than I thought I'd ever. I never imagined to have this giant rig and the amount of phone calls and the amount of people that follow me and eat my food and come back every other week.
Well, it's delicious.
Yeah, but I thought it was delicious,
Yeah.
but somebody else having it thinks it's delicious as well. But it's a huge stress reliever for me. I'm one of those people that always is on the go, and this kind of keeps me on the go and keeps me grounded. And
Right.
like I said, I like it, and I can bring my family along. My daughter, She's 8 years old. Her name's Lily. She likes to be a cashier. Like
That's cool.
on smaller jobs, I bring her as the cashier.
That's awesome.
You know, she's using her basic math skills,
Yep.
and she loves being on the trail with Dad.
And bro, you're building memories for her.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds corny, but it's true. You like,
Yeah.
she really are. She's gonna remember back at these cool things, like you remember back with your dad.
Well,
you know?
yeah, and she's super happy about this because she thinks I'm going to be a YouTube star.
You'll be on YouTube.
Yeah, she's like, typical 8-year-old girl. It's like, you're gonna be on YouTube. Oh my gosh, Dad! Like you're famous. No, Lil.
Yeah, she's gonna watch about 10 minutes of it and be like, go right to the next person.
Yeah, she's gonna be definitely bored. Back to like some kid like building something or playing a video game or something like that.
Now, do you still stay active with all this on the volunteer side, or you just was too busy at work?
No, currently because they have a union here at the volunteer house that it's against bylaws.
Right.
I do still come to the Christmas party, and I'm still very good friends with a lot of the guys here at Grenlock and Washington Township, and these guys are who started me. I think besides my dad, a lot of the older members here were also guys that taught me a lot, and I went to my first fire from here. I graduated Fire Academy. I met friends, and another crazy little fact about this place is there's 5 of us out of this little firehouse that are hired in PG County.
No kidding.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we all there's 5 of us.
Have you worked with any of those guys yet?
Oh yeah. So we've been, all of us at one point have been on a crew together.
Ah, that's awesome.
So like we've rode together.
That's so cool.
A couple are so we all got hired in different classes. None of us were in the same class together. I have the second most time on, but one of the guys is now a lieutenant. We have 2 of them that are medics, and then 2 of us are just still firefighters.
That's awesome, man.
So
Well, it says a lot when, we were talking about where our location was going to be and you picked here. It says a lot, It tells me anyway that they still love and respect you, that they really give you a space that to do this. It's awesome.
yeah, I mean the guys here are, like I said, everybody here is still awesome bunch of dudes, and they'd still do anything for me as I would still do anything for them.
Bro, how do people find you outside of your website, right? Outside of your website, how else can people find you? Like, where are you going to be this year?
So social media is the best way to find me.
Right.
Instagram and Facebook are huge because I hate Instagram and I hate Facebook, like as a normal human being. But as a business owner, they're like the best thing out
Oh,
there.
absolutely, yeah. Everyone uses social media, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's not like, that's where everybody goes for information.
Yeah.
You hear sirens, you go to Facebook.
Yep.
It's nuts.
So I normally put my stuff on the internet the week of. Like I announce where I'm going to be. My website has where I'm going to be for the whole year.
Okay. So they can go to your website and they can see your whole
Yep,
your
they
whole
can see
agenda.
where I'm
All
going
right.
to be going. Obviously, I work around my firehouse schedule. I do private events too. I do weddings. I do all kinds of stuff like that. But
So that's something to keep in mind if you're
Yeah.
looking to have a wedding, right? You'll do those too.
Outdoor weddings are huge now because of
Right.
COVID. So it's like you have this thing come out and pull out. We have everything. We can do your dessert. We can do your appetizers. We can do your dinner. We serve everything. People take it back, and it's a fresh cooked meal. It's not
Absolutely, yeah.
It's not like a normal wedding menu where it's like the steak's been sitting in a warming box all day, and it's not good.
Right. It's different because, like you said, this is all. I love your logo. Eat local. That's awesome because, like,
Yeah.
you're doing everything from scratch, and I think that's the difference between this and getting something that's pre-prepared.
Yeah, and it's cool too because all my fruits and vegetables come from the farm that Duffields Farm.
Oh,
that I was
that's
talking
awesome,
about.
man.
So I have stuff
It's a
on.
big deal nowadays, bro. Everyone's
yeah.
looking for that.
So I have everything on my menu that is, I have like seasonal stuff.
Right.
So like right now we're coming into the fall. So like my Brussels sprouts are an apple stewed, I call them stewed apples. It's like the inside of an apple pie. It's really good.
Oh, no kidding.
And then I do Brussels sprouts with bacon and onions and sriracha honey sauce on top.
Oh, wow.
But I smoke it all. But that's what's in
that's
season.
awesome.
That's what's in season right now. So I can get that from the farm
That's
rather than
cool.
having to get it from somewhere else.
So people are literally eating local.
They're eating like so last weekend I was at Duffields Farm doing their fall festival stuff.
Right.
They were literally eating stuff from my trailer that was picked either yesterday or that morning
Yeah, that's
that I
huge.
prepared.
That's huge. That is going to what set you apart from other people.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. So anyone else you'd like to thank for your success with this business, bro?
Yeah, so I mean I definitely want to thank definitely want to thank my buddies Matt and Keith Duffield. They were the ones who they pushed me, saying you need to do this, you need to do this. My buddy Matt Hamratty, who was my daughter's friend, he is the one who helped me weld everything on the first trailer. He still comes out, he's still around. Definitely my partner at work, Dan, Big Dan. I'm old man Dan now. He's kind of old. He's like 10 years older than me, but he's a giant. But he was another one who pushed me all those years, saying, "Dude, just do it." And then he drove down to Georgia to help me bring
awesome.
this thing home. Yeah, and then the guys at Bonesaw, because they took a chance with me a couple years ago, and it's really changed my business.
All right, good for you, man. And George is the one that was on that road trip with you? Dan was the one on the road trip?
Yeah.
Bro, you got to tell us stories.
Oh, yeah, all right. So we'll tell that story. So we decided to go, we work 24/72s. So we decided to fly down on our middle day to Georgia, and we were going to drive this trailer home in one day. So me and Dan jump in there.
Like on paper, it sounds great.
Oh, yeah. We were like,
Right.
we had it all marked out.
Yeah,
He's coming up to my house. We're going to fly out at 6. We'll be in, I think we were in Georgia.
It's like one of, bro, at 6:01, we're going to leave at 6:01, right? And have it all mapped out.
Yeah. We had it mapped out pretty good. And I knew there was going to be an issue as soon as we got to the airport in Philadelphia, and there was a line to go through baggage claim or like the checkpoint. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right. So we ended up getting on the flight, going down to Georgia, or actually we had to fly into Jacksonville. We got to Jacksonville, and we're supposed to have a 2,500 or equivalent to that waiting for me, and they didn't. They had a 1,500. So I looked at him like, what are we gonna do? We're now New Jersey to Florida. I have to get this trailer. So he's like, all right, let's just take it. We'll try it out. So we take this 1,500 and get over there. It was like brand new. We hook it up, and that thing was just like sagging. It looked like we were driving a lowrider. So I was like, whatever, it's not my truck. I'm just going to drive this thing home. So we started driving like 15 minutes down the road. We couldn't get over 40 miles an hour without swaying. And I'm like, this isn't going to work. So we turned around, took it back. So I said, hey, Dan, I need you to drive from here to Savannah, which is like 2 hours. We'll try to find a flight back to Jersey, and I'll figure something out.
Yeah, at that point, I'm just going to pay somebody.
I'm just going to pay someone to drive it home. So we end up hitting Savannah, and it was now like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon by the time like we hit this point. Like we should have been like in North Carolina at this point. And so we get there, and I spotted 2,500 in their lot, and I went inside. I said, let's just try to rent that truck. So I told the lady at the desk, I'm like, it's in like spot, I forget the number, like 46. Like that's the truck I need. She's like, okay, I see it. Great. Yeah, that one's taken. I'm like, oh, like freaking out. So I'm like, she's like, well, we do have another one. It's going to get cleaned and bring it up to you. So they brought us up a trailer. So then we drove from Savannah back to Waycross, Georgia, where the trailer was.
And at any point, were you and Dan like this?
I was like, I'm like, dude, what do you want to do? You want to drive tonight? He's like, no, we'll just get up in the morning and we'll do the whole trip that we were going to do today, tomorrow.
Oh, man.
Knowing that the next day we have to be at work at the firehouse.
Yeah, it's your middle day.
So we wake up, we rent some little hotel or whatever. We rent it for the night. We get up at like 5.
It's like one of those like the hotels from like planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh, it was scary. Luckily there was 2 beds. There was no snuggling. Me and Dan weren't snuggling. We did have a little pillow talk before bed, just like we do at the firehouse, but no snuggling. So we get up in the morning, get this 2,500, hook it up. We start hauling it up the road, and we have no problems except for, I forgot to tell you this earlier. We went to stop to come off in like North Carolina to get some food, and a tractor trailer hit me on the side here. On the brand new trailer, kept on going.
Oh, man.
So I'm like furious.
How bad was the damage?
It wasn't bad. It was like a scuff. I had them up top there where my emblems are. I had them like put it over it. But I was still like you got to be kidding me. Like I just spent all this money on this trailer, and someone hits me and just runs. So we end up getting back to like Philly International.
Bro, if it was me, this trailer been swaying all over the place. I didn't find that asshole.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I was too scared. So we ended up driving back up to Philadelphia International where my truck was, and we had to drop the truck we rented off at Philadelphia International and hook it to my truck, but it happened to be pouring rain at that time. So now it's 11 o'clock.
This trip is awesome, by the way. It's just amazing. Yeah, it's
11
perfect though. It's
11 o'clock at night. It's pouring rain. We have to be back in the next morning at 6 So we're hooking up this trailer. We eventually get it back to my house at like 12:30 at night. And we're both just like zombies.
Shot, yeah.
We're
shot.
like, it was like 16 hours. We're zombies. I'm like, all right, we were coming up the road and we were passing Maryland. I was like, we'll just go to the firehouse. And he's like, I don't have any uniforms. I'm like, dude, who doesn't keep uniforms in their locker? He's like, I took them all home. My wife had to wash them or something. I'm like, okay. So we drove back up the 2 more hours up to New Jersey, whatever, got it home. So it was 12:30 at night, or in the morning now. We had to be in at 6 a.m. So he had to drive all the way back to Westminster, Maryland, which was like another 2 hours.
Oh, my God.
To come into work because he's 6'7" and he couldn't borrow anybody else's pants. I told him he could wear mine. It'd be great, but, he looked good in them.
And you know what's awesome about the fire service? If you call Dan right now, like, bro, I got to go pick up a trailer, I'm pretty sure he's going to say yeah.
He told me he would never do that with me again. He said, I'm done with you.
But he did it the first time.
But yeah, no, Dan would do anything for me.
That's awesome.
Same with him. We've been, like I said, we've been partners now. We went to the academy together. We've been partners for like 6 years. So.
Well, listen, bro, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I had a good time talking to you. We had a lot of fun. Thanks so much for dinner. It was awesome. I'm definitely going to come check you out when you're like actually officially working, so I can check out more of what's going on. But
got to come to the brewery. That's the place to come.
Yeah,
that's nice beer, and you get a nice sandwich.
I think that's definitely what we need to do. John's he's nodding his head like crazy over there, man. He's like a bobblehead. So I guess we're in for that. But bro, thanks so much for coming on to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Bro, I know the guys at your house are excited about seeing this. They keep sending me messages, but they were hoping it was live. They were all excited. They wanted to watch you live.
They wanted to type in and answer. I mean, I have to give a shout out to them. They bust my balls a lot, but they're a good bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
Except for we can let this be out there that Stifler didn't make the Orioles because he sucked at catching. We can put that in there.
Fireman Freddie's Barbecue. This is it right here. The website you'll see right on the screen right here, so make sure you go check that out. The website, you can see where all your places are going to be for the rest of the year this year.
Yep. Best bet is to follow us on social media. That's I mean, you can find everything on there.
Yeah, so you got Instagram and also a Facebook page, right?
Yep.
So check those things out, and then we'll be back soon with the next episode. Be safe. Take care of each other. Take care.